Alright, so before I even get into the video, I'm going to tell you don't forget your driver's license. I'm going to say that the entire video. So let's get into the intro. Play my intro. Alright, hello, welcome future estheticians. Now I'm assuming you're here because you are interested in estheology. Maybe you want to skip ahead and kind of get like a feel for when you're done with your hours. You take your written and your practical exam, or you're actually almost done with your hours. You're done with school pretty much, and you want to get an idea of like how the written practical exam is going to be like. So I'm going to give you some tips. Share my experience. If you didn't know, I already did a written exam video. I'll put it up here somewhere or in the description below. You can watch that one first because you take that first exam and then the practical is the second one, which I'm going to talk about. So here we go. So I'm going to tell you a little story about the driver's license. If you didn't already know, if you're new to my channel, me and my sister, we both went to Aveda Institute. We went to the same school. So we booked same time, same day to go to our practical and take our practical exam. We wanted to go to McAllen, so it was about 3 hours away, so it was 6 hours round trip. Well, we went with my mom, my grandma, it was me and my sister, so we all went like a little road trip, I guess you could say. Like midway through the journey, my sister just freaked out and out of nowhere and was like, oh my God, and it scared us and we're like, what's wrong? And she forgot her driver's license midway through, guys. So even if we went back home, it would probably take another hour and a half. You know, we left early, but we weren't gonna make it on time, you know, on our location. So anyway, I still had mine booked. I didn't forget anything. We can't go back home, so we have to keep going. On the way to the location in McAllen, we're just trying to figure out another way. Like if she couldn't, since she forgot her driver's license, what are we gonna do? I think she called the testing center and they said as long as she can prove, you know, her driver's license somehow, it'll be okay. We're probably like an hour early, so we pretty much spent that whole time trying to figure out how to get around this situation. Okay, so we've gone through all this trouble because Jay's forgotten her driver's license. We had to go to the DPS in McAllen. So we went to some passport place and then we went to the DMV. So she came out with a little paper of her driver's license. So we still had a little bit of time to get to the testing center. Once we got to the testing center, I mean, I wish they were like more welcoming and like, I don't know, like I'm pretty sure like every place is different, but when we went there, they're pretty much acting like robots. They're like, okay, your name, driver's license. Like for real, man, like we're nervous enough, you know, like taking our practical exam, you know, it's worse whenever someone's just like not really like welcoming us into the testing center. I mean, I know they're doing their job, but come on, man, like be a little bit more friendlier. Anyway, when she asked for her driver's license, I had mine, I showed her, and then my sister showed her the paper one, and automatically she said, okay, you can't, do you have the hard copy? And we're like, well, no, you know, we went through all this, and they're like, well, long story short, she basically said that she couldn't take her test because she didn't have her hard copy of her driver's license. My sister came all the way to the location, 3 hours for nothing, couldn't take her test, so she pretty much had to leave and wait for me to take my test. Depending on which institute that you're going to, like it'll tell you like what to bring, and I remember in the paper that we had, it said like bring your driver's license. But, you know, sometimes people forget. I would say just, I don't know, tape it somewhere, or in the night before, like put the driver's license in your car somewhere, but not where you're gonna forget where you put it. Tape it on your forehead, I don't know, tape it on the steering wheel, do something. But don't forget your driver's license. That's the story with the driver's license, so don't forget it. Anyway, the testing itself was exactly the way we practiced it. I came from Aveda Institute, so we were literally going by the whole procedure. You know, it was the same thing the way we practiced it. But I mean, you're nervous, you forget things, you know, you're not gonna, some people probably made 100, I don't know, unless you're like some type of robot. You might forget to wipe down after you're done with the first step, you know, or you might get ahead, or you'll forget to throw stuff in the trash. I don't know, some little things like that happens. One thing I have to really let you know that it would be easier is to wet your towels before the actual test. Like, I was there early and I forgot to wet my towels. That was just kind of like nerve-wracking because I was the only one that had to go all the way to the other side of the room. And it was like one of the little shower things where the cosmetologists like wet their client's hair and shampoo and all that. So I had to turn that on, that's sanitized, turn it on, the little water faucet, and then wet my towels. They're gonna see you too, so make sure you test it. Like, you tap, you get like each end, and then you just go like that, so they can see you, like you're actually testing the temperature. And I had to do that 3 times, and I was the only one on the other side, so I knew like they were just looking at me like, it was nerve-wracking. So I recommend like you wet your towels before the actual testing. Another thing, make sure you have everything, because I thought I did, but I forgot gloves. Once we got to the tweezing part, the mock wax too. I think I forgot to put gloves in there too, so that was like another point. I like realized, oh my god, I don't have any gloves. And I saw everybody else like have some, and I was like, oh, great, you know, that's a point off. And I did everything right, but I remember when I got my paper, after everything was done, there was like a point off, so I like assumed it was the gloves. So it's like easy things like that, you know, just make sure that you actually have everything. Anyways, make sure like when you're actually putting the hydrating lotion or like the cleanser, like make sure you do it clean. I like to use my hands when I do it, but I think I might have used the brush because it was like a little bit more cleaner to do. You know, make sure that it didn't get in their hair. It was kind of nerve-wracking, you know, like you're, hopefully, you know, I don't have nothing around the hair, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then you like call the lady over to see, like, and then she's like looking and looking, and then you're kind of like, did I miss something? You know, you're like looking yourself, you know. I'm like, did I forget something? Or and I remember I saw like a little piece like on her hair. I was like, oh my god, no, you know. But maybe that's just because I have OCD and I want to make sure everything's clean. That was my experience. It was pretty. It wasn't as hard as I would say the written exam, because you really don't know. Like, you kind of know what you're gonna answer, but you don't know the questions, you know. So it's kind of like, I was really freaking out about that. But with the practical, it's exactly the way like we practiced it at our institute. It was this same way. So it wasn't like I knew what I was gonna do. I knew what to expect. So it wasn't like too hard for me to go through that. It was nerve-wracking because they were gonna check you. They were gonna see everything, see if you were doing it right. Like, you can't help it. Like, they say not to look around, but you can't help it. Like, they're just right there next to you. So you're like, oh man, you know, I want to make sure I'm doing something right. You know, you kind of glance over a little bit. You know, I'm pretty sure everyone's done it. Come on. And you're like, oh my god, I forgot to sanitize, or geez, I forgot to do this or that, or I forgot to put this up. I'm like, dang it. That stuff is just gonna happen, you know. That's just, I wanted to share my experience with you. They don't tell you like what you did wrong. They just give you your score and then bye. Okay, so it's official. I passed my practical, so I am a licensed esthetician. You have to go straight out of the building. One thing I have to say about the driver's license thing though, like, if you don't bring that, you for sure need that. If you don't have it, you're gonna have to reschedule. And depending where you're from, I know like with Aveda, it's covered, you know, the first time. I know every place is different, so I'm just letting you know, but like at Aveda though, our first time, like, we just had to go and like take the test. We didn't have to pay like up front like that. But the second time though, since my sister forgot her driver's license, she had to reschedule. She did have to pay the second time. I think it was like $70 or so. So don't forget it, guys. That's like money wasted. So don't forget your driver's license, your DL. Don't forget it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Oh, you can't speak to your client or your model. So that was kind of nerve-wracking. Like, it was just really nerve-wracking. You had to be quiet. You just had to do what you had to do. The staff wasn't even friendly. I mean, hopefully it was, you know, it's not like that everywhere else. Come on, be a little bit more friendlier. If I was them, I'd be like, you know, welcome. You know, it's your first time. Don't worry. It'll be great. I need your name, your number, or not your number. I need your name and your driver's license. And, you know, if I see somebody nervous, I'm like, oh, you know, don't worry. You know, I'm sure you practice it. you'll be fine, you'll do great, you know. But like, it wasn't anything like that. Your driver's license, okay, sit right here, let me take the picture. Like, it was very, like, with no emotion. Like, you're nervous, you know, you don't want to be like extra nervous with that. That was my experience though. When my sister had to reschedule, she went to San Antonio instead. She was like, I'm not going back over there. And I think it was a lot better for her up there. And it wasn't too much people. I think it was maybe 5 or 6 people when I took my practical exam. It took about an hour or so, or an hour and a half maybe. It's been a while, guys. I've been meaning to make this video, but anyway, hopefully it helps you. And thank you for watching. Mr. Esty here. I'm gonna do a ton of other videos, guys. So stay tuned. I'm gonna do a lot more awesome videos coming up. All right, bye.